Dear friends, welcome. I'm glad to be back again with you. I hope that you enjoyed our last session. Today, we'll relax ourselves and meditate again, as we did last time. But first, I would like to go into greater depth and explore the subject of meditation. Meditation is not a skill that we learn. Neither it's a knack that you either have or don't. I would like to propose that meditation is something very natural to us. It is something that we already know, and even something that we already do. Take, for example, a young couple who are in love. When they are together, they see only one another. They don't care about so many things that are happening around them. Even when they are apart from one another, they still think of each other. Must they expend any effort to do so? It happens in the most natural way, involving no attempt to concentrate. What kind of lover has to force himself to think of his beloved? In light of this example, I would like to share one common definition of meditation, which is to think continuously about one object in mind. Doesn't this definition also describes the lover's mental state? Now, according to this understanding of meditation, everybody meditates, though each person meditates on different objects, on different ideals. This depends upon our individual interests and aims. You'll find one person meditating on their job perhaps, another perhaps meditates on a job that they wish they had. People meditate on so many things, so many objects. These examples represent case of accidental meditation, shall we say. You are not sitting down and trying to meditate on these things. It just happens that way. Somehow, your mind becomes occupied with an idea and runs with it. Do we really choose these objects? Does the mind occupy the position of a servant, or has it become our master? Meditation is natural, but the meditation of the unregulated mind is not so beneficial. It does not transport us from restlessness to peacefulness, or from dissatisfaction to contentedness, from disturbance to stillness, from passion to compassion, or from selfishness to selflessness, or from heaviness of the heart to lightness. In order to turn this situation around, we take up formal meditation, in which we train the mind with a chosen object. The purpose is for it to become a useful instrument in our hands. But now, we find that meditation does not come as easily as before. You have your chosen object of meditation, but meditation doesn't happen so naturally as when you are thinking of your beloved either. Now, you are fighting with your mind, trying to make it concentrate on your chosen object. Mind doesn't want to stay there. It wants to go back to something else that it would prefer to be thinking about, something else that it would prefer to be meditating upon. Most meditators commonly find this problem. Gusts of thoughts, rushing of thoughts, tornadoes, storms of thoughts going around in the mind during meditation. Because of this, people often think that meditation is a form of concentration and it must happen. I must run away from these thoughts. They think that meditation is to hold the mind on a particular object. This is far from the case. While it is true that with concentration you can achieve single pointedness, it is too artificial though. You may hold your mind on one idea, but the moment you relax your efforts, the mind's activity springs back. We have not transformed ourselves at all, but only applied a superficial fix. If your mind is truly settled, it should stay there when you relax your efforts. Like a well-trained dog, it should stay without you having to tie it up. Concentration is like tying up a dog so it doesn't run away. But in meditation, it stays put despite being given its freedom. Like a well-trained dog, mind remains focused on cherished object of meditation. This happens in the most natural way when we meditate with yogic transmission, or pranahuti as we call it in Sanskrit. We will go into much greater depth on this topic in our next sessions. For now, though, let us simply say that transmission is a yogic art form performed by the trainer, which enables us to go deeper into meditation without resorting to force. To me, this transmission is something like a lift in a high-rise building. Transmission naturally draws you inward into your heart and allows us to experience greater depth in meditation than you otherwise would. Can you climb 5 stairs or 5 floors? Of course, many of us can. But if you had a lift, you would be making it easier. With yogic transmission, focusing of mind becomes very easy. There is no need for a concentration. Because concentration ipso facto, when we realize it is about our full attention on known object. Something has to be known. Something is already in mind upon which we are fixing our mind. Divinity is something very unknown to us, though a part of us. We are not cognizant of it. This means that you do not have to concentrate because you are naturally drawn inward towards a state of settledness and contentment. There is no question of holding the mind in one place. You are simply relaxed, inside out. I would like to also suggest that our object of meditation is very important. If you meditate on a mundane object, your consciousness experience will be of a mundane variety. If you meditate on a sublime object, a profound object, your state of consciousness will reflect that. No matter what your object is, the act of meditation is always the same. The mind is settled on one thought or experience. But the effect of that settledness changes according to the object of meditation. For instance, one person drinks water and another drinks wine. The act of drinking is the same, but the effect is different because the object is different. Last time, I showed you on how to meditate in a particular way. I asked you to suppose that divine light is already present in the heart and that it is attracting you inwards. In this approach, divine light is our object of meditation. When you meditated last time, you are also being aided by yogic transmission or pranahuti. We will also adopt the same meditation with the help of yogic transmission today as well. You can try meditating on your own without yogic transmission and see the difference for yourself. But even when we are aided by transmission, the question still arises as to what we should be doing during meditation. If we are not supposed to concentrate or hold our mind on one thought, then what? Let's return to the instructions. Suppose that divine light is already present in the heart. Have this firm idea, in a very gentle way though. What does it mean to suppose something? It's like a suggestion that we make to ourselves, but even lighter and subtler than a suggestion. It is mainly to remind ourselves that this light is already present inside. We need not have this thought more than once. It's like when you turn on the light in a room, we don't go on switching off and on, off and on. We do not have to go on repeating this phrase to ourselves over and over again. It is not a mantra. We do not have to be fanciful and imagine various kinds of lights, such as candlelight or sunlight or anything of that sort. There is no visualization involved here. My Guru had a special term for this light. He called it light without luminosity. Now, at first, this can seem like a nonsensical statement. What is light without luminosity anyway? But this definition gives us a big hint, actually. It has no luminosity. That means that we cannot see it. If we cannot see it, we cannot imagine. So, what are we to do with it? It is something that you feel, nothing else. Can we feel such a thing with the liver or the spleen or the big ankle or the forehead? No. The heart is the place where we feel things. So, it is the heart that we take up for meditation. This feeling cannot be manufactured. Instead, we settle down in a relaxed state with our attention gently centered in the heart and remain open and receptive, whatever feeling may arise. There is no correct or incorrect feeling. It may come so subtly and gradually that we do not even realize that it has dawned. So, let us not wait expectantly. Instead, let us just settle down and relax in that comfort and protection of the womb of the heart. Sometimes we even slip beyond awareness. It is almost as if we fell asleep, but it is not sleep. It is the first stage of wonderful condition known as samadhi. The idea of samadhi is well known to the scholars of yoga, but its experience is reserved for people who are following a practical approach such as this one. To go deeply into meditation, one must relax and abandon all efforts. Can you fall asleep when you are trying so hard to sleep? No. Similarly, you cannot meditate when you are trying so hard to meditate. You just slip into it at some moment. devoid of any anxiety to meditate well or deeply or to achieve anything special or great is the ideal condition to arrive at a meditative state. So, even though we begin with the thought of divine light, that thought soon turns into a feeling. That is why I often define meditation as moving from thinking to feeling, from intellect to intuition, and from knowledge to actual experience. Of course, thoughts do come and go. To come with the expectation that I must have a thoughtless state is the wrong approach. We get carried away by these certain notions. The mind's natural function is to think. Treat these thoughts like background noise, like the sounds of traffic outside your window. We only get frustrated with thoughts because, unlike traffic sounds, we think that we should be in a control, we should be able to check them. But then, this very effort will make them stronger, this noise. The only solution is to remain inattentive to them. But this is only possible when you are more attentive towards something else, something sublime within. By centering ourselves and relaxing into the heart, we start to find a sense of contentment. That in turn immunizes us from the preoccupation with thoughts. If you find that they are really too distracting, simply open your eyes for 30 seconds or lesser and start meditating again. That should clear the condition. But I have seen that with the help of transmission, the whole process becomes child's play actually.